North Korea is considered to be one of the worst countries in the world to live in. Over the past half-century, hundreds of thousands of people have reportedly escaped North Korea, in spite of the extreme danger and repercussions should they be caught. So we wanted to know, how exactly can someone escape from North Korea? Well, undoubtedly, it is not easy. North Korea's borders are very well guarded and neighbor South Korea, China, and Russia. On the South Korean side is the famous DMZ, or Demilitarized Zone. This is a 160-mile long and 2.5-mile wide, heavily guarded border, with barbed wire fences, active landmines, guard outposts, and soldiers on both sides. Crossing into South Korea over the DMZ is almost impossible for civilians and inherently deadly. Almost exclusively soldiers have been the ones to defect across the border. Just in November 2017, a North Korean soldier attempted to flee was shot at 40 times. As of the filming of this episode, he was on life support in a South Korean hospital and may not survive. However, those that do make it into the country are sheltered by the South Korean government. Defectors are even provided assistance in terms of financial aid and housing, as well as education, and treated as refugees and South Korean citizens. On the other side of the country is China, which is one of North Korea's few allies. The China-North Korea border is much less heavily guarded and is often the preferred route for defectors. The Yalu River and the Tumen River cover much of the border and have large gaps in security. Over the past 20 years, nearly 30,000 people have crossed these rivers into China. However, this method, while easier, is not nearly as effective once on the other side. Unlike South Korea, China does not welcome North Korean refugees, and it considers them illegal economic migrants. In fact, China is known to send refugees back to North Korea, where they are imprisoned, punished, and by many accounts, likely tortured. It is common for North Korean defectors to travel through China and to other countries that are less likely to send them back, such as Thailand. However, this requires crossing Vietnam, Myanmar, and Laos, all of which are likely to deport North Korean migrants. Another major difficulty crossing into either China or South Korea is that it's incredibly expensive, especially for those stuck in poverty. Other options for escape necessitate taking a boat from either the western or eastern portions of the country to Japan or South Korea. However, this route is incredibly dangerous as the seas are patrolled by the North Korean Navy. Surprisingly, some defectors have even managed to swim the distance between North Korea and South Korea. But one final method is even more rare. Many North Koreans are sent to labor camps in other countries, particularly Russia. It was estimated in 2006 that roughly 10,000 North Koreans live in eastern Russia, many who are believed to escape from these camps despite intense security. But no matter how a North Korean defector makes it out of the country, the ordeal is far from over. Those who leave risk hurting their families back home. As punishment and to serve as a deterrent, the North Korean government often imprisons the families of defectors, forcing them into hard labor and extremely harsh and unforgiving conditions. In short, escaping North Korea is difficult, dangerous, expensive, and isn't over even after making it to safety. So just how bad are conditions in North Korea that so many people want to escape? Find out what life is really like by watching this video to the right. Thanks for watching Now This World, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes like this every week.